Okay, I see Mr. GB. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the house. Welcome to the house. Welcome to the house. Welcome to the house. Really excited. Looking forward to this. Ketunji, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the house. Welcome to the house. So I've had to turn off my music because last time they cut me off. They just said, you know what, you're playing music, and they cut it off. So I say, I'm not doing that. So so today we're not playing any music, but I'm gonna play a track for you in a little bit, for real. So just be ready, and it's gonna be amazing. All right. So what I want to do today is we're doing the Exposed series. The Exposed series we've covered a lot of things. We've done so many things. Mr. Monday, how you doing? How you doing, sir? Yeah, so we are all the way from London. Brazil yellow, yes. Yeah, Brazil yellow, that's it, man. In this country, yellow is even more powerful than in Brazil. Yeah, so listen, one thing I want to mention is that we've covered the Exposed series. They've been fantastic. We had a really good response. I love it when people are learning, people are growing, opportunities are springing up for people. I get text messages, people telling me, man, I've changed. People are scared of me now. I'm going, why are they scared of you? They go, I've changed. I'm so much better. So they're not scared of you. They're excited about how you're changing, and they're terrified about why you're going to leave them behind. Because in some cases, when we get better, we go better. So you got to be careful. Like, don't think they're scared of you. They're not scared of you. They can't believe how amazing you become all of a sudden. So what I want to do today is I want to do a quick recap. But before I do that, my name is Danny. I'm the founder of Lose Your Mind, the tribe, or the Lime Tribe as we call it. And we are very excited. We're looking at some tremendous things to develop incredible things. I was mentioning to Tony earlier today, lots of the people that I actually have in the tribe, these are people that I love and respect. There are some incredibly talented people, incredibly successful people, incredibly hungry people. We have like a myriad of so many different types of people, all types of demographics, young, old, inexperienced, experienced, and it's fantastic. That's why the cocktail works, yeah? My intention really initially was to inspire the youth, hey Charlotte, how you doing? Yeah, so it seems today we're invaded by London people. London people are coming in all the way. But listen, one of the things I want to mention is when I started this, my concept was constricted. It was a bit small, and then we sort of started to go, hold on a second, let's make it a bit more inclusive, and then man, it's just blown up. We have over 10,000 people that are on the channel. They're watching the videos. I'm getting some crazy responses. I got a guy text me from Korea. I was like, what's this? He's like, great, I like your video. And I say, okay, that's fantastic. But there's a lot of things, and for me, that only serves to make me humble. It makes me more humble. It makes me more sort of abundant in my humility, if you like, levels. And I'm so excited for all of us, because this is a learning place for all of us, yeah? Betty, you're here to disturb me again. She says, game changer. So listen to me. We've covered the series. We've done Exposed series. We've done leadership. Leadership was off the chain. People loved it. We're doing our communication, and there's another surprise one next week. So today I sent out a clip of some of my intentions today, and I said I was going to surprise you. So I'm about to surprise you. You better get ready, and I hope you're seriously looking to learn and to grow today. Today, I want you to walk out of here going, oh my God, I feel so much better. I feel different. And, and I want people to scoop it off you. When they see you, they go, what? There's something on you. Like, I want to take it away from you. So that's what I want today. So what did we cover yesterday? I want every single one of you, if you're on the call yesterday, humor me. I'm asking you politely. I'm not instructing you. I'm asking you. Put down one little thing in the comments box that you actually loved most yesterday. Just one little comment, one sentence. I know also you can follow that by putting, just don't put anything else other than a 10, because it was 10 out of 10, isn't it? If you put a 9, I'm switching off. Betty, don't be putting a 9. If you put a 9, I'm switching off. I want a 10 out of 10 for what we did yesterday. It was amazing. I loved it. So tell me what you picked up yesterday. So I'm going to just recap very, very quickly. So yesterday we said communication is the response you get. Communication is the response you get. And that was really, really amazing, because the guys on the channel, on the WhatsApp channel, a lot of you guys were just writing out this stuff that we talked about yesterday. I'm going to give you a couple more as I wait for your comments to come through. What did you pick up yesterday? Let me see if I have the information here. Oh, this was a really good one. Increase communication is a reaction you get. Okay, somebody says reaction. You changed it a little bit, but that's all right. That works. We also talked about what is a reaction. A reaction. What is a reaction? When you talk about reaction, people kind of think, that's just a word. Words land. Words are so powerful, they have meaning, and that meaning has the ability to transform everything around us. It has the ability to change a mood of a room. It has the ability to change a room of a person. Communication is a response you get. That's really good, Tyra. So that's a good one. The quality of your communication is derived from the quality of your thoughts. Fantastic. That's really, really good. The quality of your thinking is directly linked to how you communicate. Yes, very important. So yesterday, what I said is the quality of your life is directly linked to the quality of your communication. You have communicated your way into existence. That person that we see is as a result of your communication. So if your communication was poor, we're seeing a poor person. I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about impoverished. I'm talking about a person that's lacking, that's deficient in some areas of their lives. Okay? If your communication has been poor thus far in your life, what we're looking at a person. Yes, that's a good one. Adjust, adapt, adjust, and so it's adjust, adapt, and act. Yeah. But here's the thing. If your communication has been average, you ready now? Okay? Potentially, your life is average. Or in fact, I can almost certainly say that your life is probably going to be average. So the quality of your communication will actually influence the quality of your life. We say the quality of your communication is derived from the quality of your thinking. What you're thinking, you communicate, you become. What you're thinking, you communicate, you become. And that was really, really important. We drove that home yesterday, and I can't tell you, like a lot of people yesterday called me, they said, man, that was heavy. So we need to just now understand, how do I take this information and actually own it? This is really important. We talked about primary thoughts. We talked about you being the source of everything. We talked about your me to me. The conversation between Danny. I'm going to have a conversation with me. I'm going to be saying, hey, what's going on, man? Listen, everything you actually project on the outside, you've already done it internally. So it's from within to without. You do it and then you bring it out. Okay? So what I want to teach you today is, how do we take this information and how do we apply this in our lives? How do we apply this in our lives? It's really, really important we understand that. Okay? I also mentioned that all communication induces a reaction. When you communicate, there's going to be a reaction, which is act again. There's everything you do is deflected back to you. Everything you do. When you walk around angry and you're really, you're walking around, you're doing this, you start looking at people, people are looking at you, you go, what are you looking at? And everybody looks angry because, everything we do is deflected back to us. As you give, so you receive. As you give, so you receive. If you're excited and you're walking around, even if you're in a room full of people that are miserable and you start smiling, they start looking at you like, what's wrong with this dude? What's wrong with this woman? She keeps smiling. She's weird. And then they start smiling. They start smiling. You can affect a whole room with your communication. We talked about communication is actually not just what you say, because a lot of people, when they hear communication, what they hear is spoken word. They say the things you say. When you show up in a place, communication has started. The minute you arrive, you've started to communicate. We talked about that yesterday. The minute you start speaking, they hear you. You're communicating. The minute you start to use words, because if I come to you and stand there and start going, ha, 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 you can hear me, but you're not listening to what I'm saying because there's no content. It's just a sound that doesn't actually have any meaning, or could be perhaps up into all kinds of different meanings, right? It could be, is he choking? It could be, is he happy? It's left to interpretation. But words are powerful because they're definitive. So let me go there today. So the question I want to ask you today is, who do you think you are? Back off, back off, back off, back off, back off, back off. Because some of you are like a bit, hold on. Back off, right? The question is, who do you actually think you are? That's my question. Please write this down. This is a serious question. I want you to, by the end of this conversation, I want you to look into this question. Who do you think you are? Please remember, what you think, you communicate, you become. So who do you think you are? Number one. Number two, who do you say you are? Who do you say you are? Who do you say you are? Number two, okay? Number three, watch this. Who do they say you are? Who do they say you are? So we started with the thoughts. What I'm thinking. We went to what I think I am, my perception of self. Who do I say when I speak of me? Because I asked you a question. I said to myself, I said, look, man, describe yourself in 5 words or 2 words even. Some people, can't even do this. You go, give me 2 words that describe you the most. They go, well, and some people they go for the quicker thing, the fix. I'm a black guy who just likes to meet people. I'm just that guy. So I want to challenge you today to revise your communication, because we said everything that you are starts with you. Whatever the world deflects back to you is a reflection of what you're communicating to the world. Whatever you're communicating to the world is a reflection of the thoughts you have in your brain. Whatever is in your brain has a genesis to, and we're going to touch on that today. And I'm going to show you how you can induce those things just like that. Because if you can change your state, you can change your conversation, you can change your communication. Watch this, yeah? Okay, so I'm going to give you generics here, right? We are truly our habits. We are our habits. We are John the smoker. We are Mary the smiley lady. Because that's what people see. People see you for the things you do the most. They see you for the things you repeat the most. They see you, they go, that's the guy, that's David, the guy, the singing guy. The guy who sings all the time. Listen to this very carefully. You are your habits. Your habits are formed from repeated practices. Your habits are formed. What are habits? The things you do frequently. The things you do frequently, and then they become part of you. So you see people, they go, what's wrong with you, man? You have a habit of annoying people. Have you heard of people who get told that? You have a habit of annoying people. You have a habit of, upsetting people, or you have a habit of agitating people, you have a habit of, intimidating people, they are speaking of who you are. But they're using the word habit to describe who you are. So you are your habits. You are John the quiet one. You are Peter the obnoxious one. Because you don't watch somebody for the first time. You met the guy the first time. Then you say, that guy has a habit of being quiet. No, you just met the guy. But if you speak to him for a month, and somebody comes and says to you, Bob is quiet, you go, that's him. That's just his habit. He's just a quiet guy. Do you understand? So you need to understand this. You need to really understand this. You are your habits. And your habits come from repeated practices. Things that we do on a regular. Watch this, and I'm gonna go there. Where do your practices come from? Your practices are inspired or they're induced by the goals. You see, we do things to get what we want to get from them. There's always a motive. Therefore, the word motivation. What is your motivation for doing this, right? There's always a motive for doing the things we do. So our practices are not just by coincidence. It's not just something that you just land into. It's not by accident. It's actually something that's premeditated. I do this because I want to get this from it, right? So watch what happens, right? So we are our habits. Habits are from repeated practices. Watch. Repeated practices are inspired by the things we want, the goals. And I wrote a very simple sentence here. It says to you, we do what we do to get what we want. Most of the time, even if the goal doesn't seem to be clear, you say, if I do this, I might just get something out of it. You see, we all have this sign, and I talked about this before. And I said, guys, everybody that says, look, man, what is in it for me? So, and I go back to it. So, communication is a response you get. Communication is a response you get. Hey, Romano, communication, Magdalene, is a response you get. Okay, watch this, yeah? So if communication is the response I get, what is it that I'm communicating that's getting me the response I'm getting, which is perhaps a desired response or an undesirable one? So if I'm not getting the response that I wanted to get, because remember, I do what I do to get what I want. So watch, if I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm not getting what I want, which means I have to change what? The approach. My communication may look effective, it may feel like it's eloquent, it may feel like it's delivering a punch, but if I'm not getting the objective of why I'm doing it, it's not effective communication. We are our habits. Our habits are derived from frequent or repeated practices. Our practices are inspired by the things we want to get out of them. What's the end game? What is my return on this? How do I benefit from this? So watch this. Where do those come from? Where do those come from? And I want to give you a scenario. This is what I say to people. Be careful what you practice on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a regular basis. Why is that? You see, repeated practices or repeated performances or repeated fiction listen, when something is repeated, it turns fiction into fact. So your repeated practices have the potential to go from fiction to fact. Fiction to fact. Why is that? If you practice the wrong things, they have the potential to magnify from just being fictitious to being factual. If you pretend to smoke and you hang out with a bunch of people who smoke and you sit down and they're having a cigarette and you grab a cigarette and you start pulling on that cigarette, you start going, yeah, I don't smoke, but let me just have one, and there's no fire, it's just a cigarette, and the nicotine is going into your system, and you're smelling this fresh nicotine that's not burnt. It's actually just nicotine. It's a cigarette you're holding in your hand because you're trying to fit in. What happens is a month later, with practice, what was fictitious now becomes factual. Repeated practices over time, they turn fiction into fact. Watch. If you tell yourself that you are the happiest person in the country, every day, I'm the most hardworking person in this room, every day. I'm the person who comes, I'm the earliest person in this office. I come earlier than anybody else in this office every day. And you're always late, but you say, I am telling you, I am the first guy here. You watch me tomorrow, and you practice that, and you practice that, and you practice that. It's like a good attitude. If you say to yourself, I am postponing anger for a month. I'm postponing guilt for a month. Watch what happens. What happens is your habits change. When your habits change, what happens is you change. Because guess what? Your practices now are consistent with that person that you want to be. So your desire to be the hardest working person, the happiest person, the highest person, the most driven person, the most ambitious person, all of those things that you crave, that started as fiction, because of repeated practices, they become fact. You see, that's communication. You are not communicating just verbally. There are other areas of your life. Watch this. So now, where do we get our desires? Where do we get our desires? And now I'm gonna come to the end of this. So watch this, yeah? We get our goals, our desires from our thoughts. From our thoughts. From our thoughts. How do we get those thoughts? Thoughts are inspired by so many different things, but I want to give you 3 key areas that you can really work on to really inspire better communication, because the quality of your thoughts will determine the quality of your communication, which will determine the quality of your life. Watch. Thoughts become manifestations, manifestations become interpretations, right? So you communicate it, you actually look like it. And therefore, because you look like it, the perception of the world that's looking at you, they go, you are it. That's who you are. You are that guy. So I want to encourage you. To understand this, right? So habits, from where? Practices, from where? Desires, goals, things that we want to have. Where do the goals come from? From our brain, from our mind. Watch. Goals can come from your brain by way of imagination. I read something in the book a long time ago, and I've held on to this for a long, long time in my life. And it says, imagination is a preview to come. And every single one of us has an imaginative mind. We can imagine things. We can imagine things. That's why people write movies of things that have never existed. We can imagine anything. So imagination is a preview of things to come. Watch this. If you want good things to come to you, start imagining good things. Start imagining yourself in a better place. I imagine myself walking on this beach in the morning at 5. I see the white sun. I feel the sun kissing my skin. I'm walking around and there's palm trees moving everywhere, and I feel calm, I feel relaxed. You start to imagine things. You may be sitting in the biggest ghetto in the world. You are in the slum, and there's sewage literally, but you close your eyes and you can go to the beach. You can go anywhere in the world. Imagination. You see, imagination is from our intuition. As I mentioned before at the beginning, one of the series that talked about intuition, and I'm not going to build on that a lot, but watch this, yeah? Intuition is not measurable. Intuition is not, it's not something that's man-made. Intuition is from God. So God put something in us that allows us this ability to see things before we even know they exist. And that gives you the drive to start practicing action. We talked about it yesterday. And when you start acting, if you act repeatedly, you become habitual. So when you become, habitual, you've heard things like, we are creatures of habit. So those habits, they become your reputation. So people start to describe you by those things that they see in you repeatedly. I am the things that I do. Because that's what everybody tells you. The question I asked at the beginning, who do you think you are? Who do you say you are? Who do they say you are? Because you see, most people think the folks sit down and say, I wonder what they think I'm doing. I wonder what they think I am. I wonder who they think I am. Nobody thinks about you. People just look at you and they actually decide who you are. Because everybody's so busy thinking about themselves, they're thinking, 60,000 thoughts a day for a man or something like that. Yeah, I think that's what it says in psychology. None of those 60,000 thoughts are on somebody else's roster. They're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. They go, how do I fit into this situation? I'm taking it there now. Watch this, right? The second way we induce our desires, one, I said, is through imagination. The other one is through our senses. We have 6 senses. Regular folks say you have 5. I say we have 6. We can see, we can smell, we can taste, we can touch. Right? What's the 6th one? Okay. We can see, we can smell, we can hear. We can taste, we can touch. And then the other one is the one that no science can measure. There's no barometer, there's no machine, there's no equipment to measure intuition. So watch this. So you've seen something, you desire it. You smell something, you desire it. You've tasted something, you desire it. You've heard something, you desire it. Are you with me? Right? So those desires will lead you to start practicing things on a regular basis that will lead you to habits that make you who you are. You're communicating. The most powerful one, and I always say, people say, listen to your gut feeling. What's your gut telling you about this? Soldiers use this, man. I know people, like some people even on this call, I'm not going to mention names. These people have been, in some serious jobs, authorities in big places, firearms and all this kind of stuff. I'm talking about big people on this call right now. But sometimes when the decisions have been calculated and over-calculated and over-analyzed, they say, throw that out. What's in my gut right now? What's your gut telling you? What do you think we should do? They go, let's go for it. You go, okay, we go for it. You have no proof, but your intuition, man, your intuition says, I'm going, let's go. So you have the potential to draw some of your goals, your dreams, beyond imagination. It's, the 5 senses, those are things that you've experienced. The 6th one is things that God is only able to guide you through. Because you're about to step in a pile of crap, and your foot jumps. That's not because you're intelligent. It's because you have intuition. There's another person in you that's actually instructing you to do those things. Now watch this. If you tap into that and you learn how to intuitively communicate, meaning you trust that the stuff in you that's so, man, I'm telling you, like it's so rich. People start to say, what's wrong with this dude? She just knows, she just knows. Because you listen to your intuition. You listen to your God-man in you. That's powerful way of learning how to repackage and communicate yourself. I'm going there. The other way we draw our goals, our aspirations, our desires is through feelings. Watch this. Pain is an inducer. Pain induces a desire. A desire to be free, a desire to have something you don't have, a desire to go places you've never been, a desire to yearn and have something you never had. Pain is a great driver, a great motivator. It gives you motivation to do something. All right? Pleasure is also a great motivator. That's why televisions make a lot of money. Because what they do is, when they're advertising, everything is positive. When they're reading the news, everything is negative. Because there are two very powerful commodities, two very powerful forces in this world. One is fear. So when you're terrorized, you do this. Like, wait, listen, when you watch TV and you watch the news, they don't tell you anything good. They don't say somebody gave birth to a baby boy and bouncy baby boy. Unbelievable, beautiful, brown eyes, so healthy. Oh my God, yay. Nobody's going to watch the television. But when somebody has a bad accident, they say, man, the car was ripped into pieces and this guy flew in the air, and they're showing pictures. In some countries, they even show the stuff. And you go, whoa. Because people like that. They're drawn into that stuff, right? And then, of course, there's the other part. When they advertise, they say, the guy is, he's in the rain, he loses his American Express card and he's really, really struggling and he doesn't know what to do. And then American Express comes and gives him a new card and they say, yes, man. Woo. And then there's, lights and he's at the beach and he's being massaged and he's having a good time. He's drinking some pina colada because American Express came. So it's a pain pleasure principle. Some things you do, you'll be driven by pain. The pain of wanting something, the pain of change, the pain of trying to fix something, or you'll be driven by pleasure. The pleasure of, continuing to have what you have or continuing to pursue what you want to pursue. Either way, it's motivation. So I'm gonna just break it down for you again. So habits are from repeated practices. When you repeat something over time, guess what happens? It becomes a habit. That habit is you're practicing that thing because you have an ulterior motive, which is you want to get something back. So I get this when I do this. And that's how humans work. What is the primary objective? Some people say to me, I don't even have goals, Daddy. I don't know. You do have a goal. Because when you walk from your couch to the kitchen and you cook a meal, that's a goal. I want to eat something. That's a goal. Now, you don't think it's a goal because you associate the word goal to being something so grand. Like, I want to own a wreath, a phantom wreath. If I have a phantom wreath, that's a goal. I want to have a private jet. No. Going to have a shower tonight is a goal. Walking outside and taking a walk is a goal. Going to fetch a coat when it's raining outside, that's a goal. So everything we do and we practice is actually derived from the desires that we want. And those desires come from our brain. The brain is triggered by imagination, is triggered by the five senses plus one, okay, which is my best one, the intuition. And then, of course, the last one is feeling, yeah? Now, I'm gonna just close with this one. Please get this. If you got nothing today, get this. The thoughts that matter, the only thoughts that matter, that will actually form your life, therefore represent your communication, are the most dominant thoughts. The thoughts that are the most dominant in your brain are the only thoughts that matter. Pause. Watch. Are you enjoying this? Like, you got to put it like a 10 or something. You guys know the codes, man. You need to put a 10 and say, Daddy, we're loving this. If you're not loving it, I could just go and just... Yes. The only thoughts that matter. What is the word matter? Thoughts become things. Watch. Thoughts become things. Okay, listen to me very carefully. The only thoughts that matter are the most dominant thoughts, right? The only thoughts that matter, Rwanda, you're teasing me. The only thoughts that matter are the most dominant thoughts. Watch this, right? The word matter means to form, to take shape, to become, when something solidifies, it becomes matter. you're able to touch it. In physics, something that matters is something that actually becomes tangible. You can touch it. So the only thoughts that matter are the most dominant thoughts. I just want you to get that one in. So when I say your habits are formed by repetition, repeated over time, fiction becomes fact. Watch this. Now, where does that come from? Where does the fiction becomes fact? Because you're focused on something that you probably got caught up in by doing once and enjoying it, because the end game, or what you associate to be the goal you're going to get out of it, is something that stimulates you to work more on it. Yeah. So you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you know it's bad for you, but you keep doing it. Or you start to do something that's really, really good for you because it feels a little bit uncomfortable. You stop doing it, so you go, I don't like this. So you drop the habit. You see, good things form from good habits. Bad things form from bad habits. But watch this, right? Everything that matters has to come from a habit. It's repeated action. Therefore, that repeated action, as we said, when you show up, you're communicating. Oh, I hope you get this in, yeah? This is one of the most amazing things that came into my head today. And you know how you know how it works. Like I'm a listener. Like when you look at me, I'm very crazy and whatever. But man, God knows my humility. I listen that guy. God knows my humility. So when I listen to God, He gives me these crazy ideas, and I go, how did that happen, man? And I watch this and I say, did I say that? So let me give you this one. This was a really good one. You want to write this one down. Your presence is your presentation. Your presence is your presentation. I'm gonna put a word in brackets underneath that. It's your communication. Your presence is your presentation. And it's also your representation. Your presence, watch. So when you show up, that's your presentation. When you're doing sales, you go, I'm going to do a presentation. So when you show up, that's your presentation. Therefore, watch this, it's also your representation. It's the things that represent you in front of everything else that's external to you. Watch. Are you ready? Your presentation, listen to me, your presence is your presentation and it's your representation. Watch this. Your presentation is the only valid thing that we can say. Watch this. Your presentation is only valid if you're present. Your presentation is only valid if you're present. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me just put this. Let me just put this here. One second. Are you loving this? If you're loving this, put a 10 in there, man. Like, if you're not loving this, like, I could just switch off, like I could just switch off. This is really good. So your presentation is only valid in your presence, and it's void in your absence. I'm about to turn this thing on its head because I want you to understand the power when you say the word communication. My communication skills have to get better. Are you crazy? It's not about your skill, your ability to verbiage things, to say things. No, it's the whole package. It's who you are. When you show up, that's your presentation and that's your representation. So your presence is the only valid thing, is the only thing that validates that you're actually communicating. If you're absent, it's void. So watch this. I'm going there. So in your absence, you're either a memory or an imagination. You see, folks don't understand that the most important thing in your story, your craving, your desire to be successful, the most important thing is your ability to show up. When you show up, you can improve how you show up. You can change how you show up. You can learn how to show up better. But in your absence, there is a void. You do not exist. Therefore, because watch this, right? Take a guy, take somebody right now. I like Denzel. I don't like all these other, clowns. I like Denzel. So is Denzel presenting to you right now? Is he got a representation right now? If I didn't mention his name, would you have been thinking about him? Some of you maybe yes, some of you not. Would you be thinking about him? Would you be saying he is represented? No, he's absent. So therefore, his presentation is void. It's either a memory. Why is it a memory? Because he did something before that he left behind that we say, I remember him by that. If they haven't met you and they've heard about you, you are just an imagination. So that accurate representation of you requires that you show up. The question is, which version are you going to bring forward? Which one of you? Because we're schizophrenic, like most of us are. And science has decided to make it a condition. They go, that's a condition, it needs treatment. No. We all have this bipolar syndrome. We all have this schizophrenia. We have all of these different big names. The science calls, that needs medicating. Every single human being has a level of insanity and sanity. It's how you balance those things. Some people are too bored to be crazy. Some people are too active to be bored. So people say, you're crazy. So I want you to understand this. This is really important. So, only in your presence do we have you present to represent yourself. You cannot represent yourself in your absence. I am representing myself to you right now because I am present. Over the phone, yes. On camera, yes. Over my Mac, yes. Whatever, it doesn't matter what medium, but I'm here. And you can look at my face and you can see the emotion in my face. You can see the emotion in my eyes. You can say, this man is here. So watch this. If communication, and I'm going to bring it down to the finish here. Watch this. So the quality of your life is derived from the quality of your communication, which is derived from the quality of your thoughts. The genesis is your thoughts. Watch. When you show up, you've started communication. That's what I'm saying. The minute I arrive, I'm here. I have a representation and I'm ready to do my presentation. They see me, they hear me, they listen to me. Watch. So everything that starts to build my brand or my reputation starts with me being present. Right? So I'm going to give you this one. So the essence of life, is buried in your presence. And when we say presence, this is what I say. I always refer to God. You see, God gave us something that he called the present. And the present is a gift. It's a gift of the moment. Because only in the moment are you able to really define your life. Everything else is past and everything else is anticipated. It's not happening. Only right now in the moment am I able to really define with clarity my life. So a repetition of these small things that I do in a momentary situation, and moment by moment by moment by moment, I start to do stuff. Guess what? The culmination of that, the summation of that, when you add all of that together, you have something that people say, that's the reputation he holds. That's the reputation she holds. I want you to get this. I want you to get this. So you are whatever you're communicating right now. That's all you are. Because what you communicated last week, you can change that. You can change that. Because people change. Have you heard of that phrase? People change. What changes is their communication. They repackage, they re-represent themselves, or they do a new presentation of who they are. So people say, now I see a different guy. Have you heard of that phrase? I see a different person. You know, Bob has changed. His presentation has changed. His representation has changed. Why? Because his communication has changed. You can call it improvement. I call it different. And when you change, remember yesterday we talked about it, right? It's not important what your intentions are. What's important is to pay attention to your intentions. What attention are you getting to your intentions? Now, if I communicate something, if I come in a room and I start dancing and I start doing, yeah, and people look at me and I go, okay, guys, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm sorry. I apologize. Listen, listen, I want to do something different. Like, let's talk calmly. They go, yeah, that's what we wanted to have. So what was important? What's important is not me going wilding out and just coming in and trying to make, a fool of myself, or trying to have fun with myself. Some people call that being a fool. I might call it, I'm having fun. What's wrong with you guys? No. What's important is the attention of the audience to my intentions is what determines my approach. And it has to be switched up every single moment to align with the audience. Because guess who pays you? The audience pays you. We don't make stuff and buy them from ourselves. We make stuff and we sell them to other people. We don't have services, we sell them to ourselves. Imagine if I had to go to the bank every day and say, hey, how you doing? Listen, I want to buy another, $100,000 worth of my services. And they go, who are you paying? I'm paying me. Who's buying? I am the customer. Who made this? I made the service, but I want to buy more of it. They will call the police. They'll go, there's a crazy guy here. Like somebody needs to talk to him. He's trying to buy his own product. Do you understand? Do you understand? So my point is, of course, if you have a supermarket, you're going to buy food. You may not even buy your own food. Some people own supermarkets. They go to a different market to buy. Doctors go to a different doctor. They don't go to their own clinic. There are 2 doctors in there. They go, let me go see my doctor. You go, but I'm a doctor. I'm here. It's just human nature. So I want you to understand the correlation between those entities that I've mentioned. And the last thing I'm finishing on here, it says here, so when you repeat things, repetition creates habits. Habits create a reputation. Your reputation is your mode of communication. And your communication is what's going to be ultimately reflected in your rewards. It's going to determine the network of people you have. It's going to determine the responsibilities you're given. It's going to determine the respect you command. It's going to determine your bank balance. It's going to determine your net worth. Your communication is almost as important as your attitude, almost as important as the air you breathe. Because the only thing we have is our ability to project ourselves in a way that appeals to the buying audience. That's the only thing we have. And the projecting of oneself is one's communication. I just hope you got it. I just hope you got it. I just hope you got it. I'm about to finish. And as I finish, if you have a question, just put it in the comments, yeah? And if you're loving this, do you understand it? Do you understand the sequence of events? Do you understand how we started yesterday? Your thoughts, yes? Your thoughts induce your communication, the way you communicate, the way you project yourself, the visuals, the voice, the words, right? There's a reason they call it body language. It's a language. It's like when you say Spanish is a language, there's another language called body language. Right. You've seen people. It's happened. I mean, Romano, you live in America, so I keep picking on you, right? You know, or some of you from the Caribbean are so clear again from St. Lucia. Some places you go to, these guys carry guns like, you know, well, they do in Africa as well. Here in Uganda, it's like everybody has a gun. Now, all the soldiers have a gun. You know, even the guys who guard me, everybody has a gun. But if you stand in a place and you start acting all funny like this, and you start doing this stuff, you see people going, what do you think is wrong? If that's the police looking at you, they may draw their weapon and say, hey, what are you doing? And if you touch the wrong thing, the wrong way, you move in a different direction, pam, they pop you. You go, why did you kill the guy? The guy was just trying to adjust his umbrella, or he was trying to get his phone. Do you understand? Body language is that powerful. It makes people make a quick decision about you before you even utter any words. So they see you. They hear you, and then they listen to you, and then they decide, I want to continue dealing with this person, or I don't want to. This is really the epitome of people who are in business. If you're in sales and you learn how to communicate or to project the right version of you, and you continue to adapt, adjust, and act accordingly until you get the desired response that you're looking for. And then once you get that response, you zone in on that response, right? You practice it every single day. It becomes a habit. So now it's a habit. Now it becomes you. You're the guy that closes every sale. How do you do it? Because you found a sweet spot. You found a way that the response you wanted to get, you can get it by acting a certain way. You see, people don't buy because you have a really good product. They buy because the person with the product is a really good person, is the right person. So they buy from the right person, the right product. Or they may even buy from the right person, the wrong product. So, and we talked about this. I don't want to go into sales. I talked about sales. Sales is just a life skill. It's everybody is selling all the time. All the time. That's how you get married. That's how you get divorced. That's how you lose money. That's how you make money. That's how you build a house. That's how you don't build a house. That's how you're poor. That's how you're rich. That's how you're wealthy. That's how you're crook. That's how, sales. That's normal. That's just a life skill. But the ultimate skill that absolutely gives you a ticket to being super, super successful in life. And life calls success money. In most cases, the loose term is when somebody has lots of money, they're successful. Success is measured in satisfaction. It's not measured in a currency. So you may have a lot of money and be a failure. You may have no money and be a success, but you're going to struggle. It's going to be tough. I'd rather have the money and figure out how to be happy. I like that. I like to have the money and then I'll work out how I'm going to be happy with the money. But let me tell you, if you don't get happy, you ain't going to make money. It's really that simple. If you're a stressed head and you're always stressed, you ain't going to make money because nobody's going to buy from you. Your communication is saying, run away from me. I'm wrong. Like I have a bad vibe. Run away from me. So one of the things to learn to improve your communication as a person, as you leave this call, start to watch yourself as you're around children. Children will call you on your stuff. Children can only recognize you because the essence of who we are as human beings is supposed to be that of bliss. And it's supposed to be that of peace. It's supposed to be that of actual happiness. It's supposed to be that of, fulfillment and compassion and love and beauty. That's the essence of humanity. So kids are still locked in that bubble where, God just released them and they come in and it's still just, their vibration is that of, euphoria, happiness, elation, everything to do with beauty, love and joy and happiness. And then comes you, and you have a dark spirit around you. And the kids look at you and they see a cloud of darkness coming to you. Imagine this as an adult right now. If you saw somebody pull out something and it just opened up and it was soot coming out and it was all black, would you stand there or would you take off? Some of you will start screaming and going, there's a guy, he has something, he produces some dark skin, dark air, whatever. And there's a dark cloud. When he opens this thing, there's a dark cloud that covers the whole atmosphere. You take off. That's what children do. They look at you and they say, no, this one has bad energy. No, I'm not staying with this one. Yes, Godwin, emotional intelligence. So understand this, right? People will actually gravitate towards you without you even doing too much if your vibe is good, if you're communicating positive energy, if you're communicating happiness, if you're communicating compassion, if you're communicating love, if you're communicating, just help. I want to help, contribution. Can I do something for somebody? Is there anybody that needs help? If you're communicating that, people they gravitate, they come towards you. You are a magnet for people. As humans, we love good vibes. Even the biggest serial killers, they've met people and they go, I can't kill this one. This one has good vibes. Man, just let this one go. They say, why did you let that one go? She was nice. There was something about her. Communication will get you in trouble. The wrong communication. The right communication will get you into places that you never thought you could even go to. So the repetition of those things that you call your habits will gradually work you into what people say, this is who she is. This is who he is. So this is Lose Your Mind, guys. I didn't see any questions coming in. Yo, I am so excited. I am so humbled. I can't believe the amount of love messages I'm getting. You guys are just, you're so amazing. I've never really thanked you enough. We've had over 250,000 people that have viewed the videos that we put out on Lose Your Mind. We have had 100,000 people view our videos in the last 3 weeks. That's astounding. Listen, we will all make a lot of money eventually by sharing and loving and working together as a team. That's not the priority right now. The biggest priority right now is impact. I want us to have so much impact. I want you to walk into your workplace whenever you go back. I want you to walk into your house. I want you to walk from the room where you're sitting right now and people say, what happened to you? What happened to you? You look different. You feel good. What's wrong? And it's going to agitate people the wrong way. Some people are not going to deal with it the right way. They're going to say, are you mocking us? Why are you so happy? You're mocking us. Do you know where we are? Do you know that there's this virus out there killing people? Why are you laughing? Are you laughing? Stay your ground. Stay your ground. You just start saying things like, I made a decision to postpone anger. I made a decision to postpone. I put a pin on it. I'm going to get angry, but next week. I'm also going to get really, really frustrated, but I do that next month. Also, what I want to do is act like a loser, but I do that in 6 months. Also, what I want to do is I want everybody to dislike me, but let me do that next year. This year, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. So I want you to pass this on. If you really, really, and don't just tell me you have, if you've really, really enjoyed this and you benefited from it, send it to 5 of your friends. Let them have a look at what we're doing. I want them to join the tribe, not to have more numbers, but to have more impact. Because each one can teach one. Each one can teach one. And as we teach each other, as you pay it forward, what happens is eventually we have thought leaders. We have a new wave of people. It doesn't really matter how old you are or how rich you are or how rich you're not. It doesn't really matter. Let's just form this incredible movement of positivity right above it. Raise the conversation. When somebody's talking to you and they're trying to bring you down, they're communicating in the wrong vibe, there's also dealing with that part. Sometimes you come in and you're good and you have good motivation and you stand there and you let people actually drag you down. They drag you down. Don't do that. Don't allow people to drag you down. Do not do that. And in closing, Romano knows this. I'm in a field. We were selling product in the bag. I'm in a field and I'm selling these products and we're doing a really good job. And I walk into this shop and the guy is running a dry cleaner. And he says to me, he says, yo. And I said, good afternoon, sir. He goes, yo. And I said, good afternoon, sir. Because we're trained not to go, yo. So I'm polite. So I said to the guy, yeah, this is in Tottenham, yeah, in London. So I said to him, I said, I have some stuff I'm showing around, I'm showing this. And he looked at me, he just froze, he just looked at me and I felt the energy. I said, wow, this dude, man, I felt the energy. So what happened is I stopped, he said, let me talk to you. He said, stop there. He said, you is a black man. I said, yeah. He said, you're a black man. I said, yeah. So I'm thinking, I know that. I have a mirror. I have a mirror. Ron is laughing. I have a mirror. He said, how can you as a black man embarrass me? Embarrass me. You remember the story, Romano? Embarrass me. He says, look at me. He said, I as a black man, he goes, can't you go and find a real job? Why don't you become smart? He goes, you embarrass the community. You're the people bringing black people down. So I'm looking at the guy, I'm going, what am I doing in this place? So I said, sir, have you finished? He said, yes. I said, can I ask you a question? He said, yes. I said, do you own this dry cleaning? He said, Bridget, no, I don't own the dry cleaning because I work here, man. I go, man. I go, how old are you, man? He looked like he was 35 or something like that. So I said, do you know why I work hard? He said, because one day, if I don't work hard, I may end up like you. I said, you're a grown man. You go back to your children. You say, I'm from work. I said, you work in a man's dry cleaning. And you're giving me a lecture that I'm doing something stupid. I'll leave it there, guys. You know the story. Thank you very much. Listen, we're on again next week, okay? We're on again next week. I think you got the story. Don't listen to the wrong communication. They can recruit you as well. Just say, raise the conversation and get out of that. So this is Lose Your Mind. We're back next Wednesday. We're going to do another expose, and I'm going to really, really, really give you something that's going to transform you. But please, please, this information means nothing unless you apply it. Put it into practice. Put it into practice. Yes, thank you, Romano. Medicine for your soul. Thank you, Magdalene. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you. All of you are sending messages, great messages. If you enjoy this, please share with 5 people and let them share it forward. Hopefully, we can change one family at a time. Eventually, we're going to have a tribe. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. I'm seeing all these people. Thank you very much, everyone. If I didn't mention your name, Emily, thank you. Penny, thank you very much. Bless you.